Hey guys, it's Measley, and welcome to the first episode of my profession guides, this time featuring Alchemy. This guide is split into two parts, the first part being Legion Alchemy, and the second part being Old World Alchemy. So first up, I'm going to be talking about Alchemy in terms of the current Legion content, and what crafts are profitable right now. First, you have the potions that give you a buff, such as the Potion of the Old War and the Potion of Prolonged Power. The Potion of Prolonged Power costs Blood of Sorcerous to make, so whether you should craft these or not is largely depend on what you can use your Bloods of Sorcerous for. For instance, if you have another crafting profession. Next, you have Health, Mana, and Rejuvenation pots, and if you have rank 3, Health and Mana pots can be good candidates for making Obliterum. Next, you have the heavy hitter, the Legion Flasks. People have been pretty competitive in crafting these, but if you can craft enough to get rank 3, they can net you pretty good profits. Next, you have the Legion Transmutes. These Transmutes share a separate cooldown from the Old World Transmutes. The best ones to do are Cloth to Herbs and Meat to Pet. Cloth to Herbs gets you pretty consistent profits, especially if you then use the herbs to craft potions and flasks. I like to do Meat to Pet every once in a while to get some of the rare pets to list on the auction house. But in order to do Meat to Pet, you'll need 3 special transmutagens that come from doing the other transmutes. So to get a viscous transmutagen, black transmutagen, and oily transmutagen, you'll need to do Meat to Pants, Cloth to Skins, and Cloth to Herbs. Finally, to initially unlock all these transmutes, you'll have to do wild transmutations until you get them. So here's one of the pets you can get from Meat to Pet, the Transmutant, and it typically sells for a few thousand on my server. You can also get other pets that are worth quite a lot as well. Next, we have the Infernal Alchemist Stone, which I don't really think is worth it to craft, but some people use it to obliterate. And finally, you have the Legion Utility Potions, which I also don't think are worth it for being so expensive to craft with their minimum effects. Then again, anything can be profitable as long as you check the profits column if you have TSM. As shown here, the Sky Step Potion and the Avalanche Elixir can be profitable for me right now. Now I'm going to be getting into part 2 of the guide, which is Old World Alchemy. Let's start with Warlords of Draenor. First, we have the Crescent Oil, which is the precursor to a lot of the Draenor utility potions. If you have a fishing net on your shipyard in the garrison, you can get free fish when you're doing the ship missions, which you can then use to craft many of the potions, including the Crescent Oil. To learn the Draenor Alchemy recipes, you'll have to do Secrets of Draenor Alchemy, then turn them in at the vendor in your garrison. Compared to the Legion utility potions, these are relatively cheap to make, and also have some pretty useful effects. You have stuff like invisibility, living action, swiftness, water breathing, water walking, and even a potion that lets you temporarily change your gender. Those obviously sell really well. Again, it'd be really useful to gauge the statistics with TSM to see which ones are the most suitable for your server. Next up, we have transmuting other elements to Sorcerous Earth. This transmute is not on a daily cooldown. And Sorcerous Earth is in high demand because it's used to craft the Hexweave bags, which are still the biggest bags that you can craft. Since I have an army of tailors to make Hexweave bags with, I can supply them with my alchemists with very cheap Sorcerous Earths. One cool thing is that when you're doing your Hexweave daily cooldowns, you actually get some of these Sorcerous elements, which you can then mail back to your alchemists to do the Sorcerous Earth's transmutations. You also need alchemical catalysts, which you can typically buy for cheap on the auction house. Or you could do another daily transmute to make them, but I don't think it's really required. Next, on the top of my list for the Old World Transmute daily cooldowns is Living Steel. It is in high demand because it's used for crafting not only the jewel crafting panther mounts, but also the engineering sky golem mounts, the geosynchronous world spinner, and depleted Kryperian rocket. The best alternative for daily Old World cooldowns on my server is Pyrium bars. I switched to doing this transmute if Living Steel prices drop a lot, or if I can't get my hands on any Trillium bars. Furthermore, with these Pyrium bars you can even make True Gold, which is not on a daily cooldown, and has some pretty good demand on certain servers. Next, another really good non-daily cooldown transmute to do is the Pandaria Rare Gems. These are in demand because they are needed for the jewel crafting panther mounts, as well as some of the enchanting tomes that give you some weapon glows. Orange is probably the one with least demand because there's no orange panther mount. To transmute these, you'll need a green gem of the respective color plus a golden lotus. Besides buying them from the auction house, you can also trade in Spirits of Harmony at your Pandaria faction hub to get golden lotus. Next we have a vanilla staple, Transmute Arcanite. Arcanite bar is used to craft a lot of the old world vanilla weapons and armor. This is also not on a daily cooldown, so you can make as many as you want. Here, as you can see, I was able to sell 5 Arcanite bars for 1,600 gold. Another really important transmute is Ghost Iron bars to Trillium bars. This is not on a daily cooldown either, and it's very important because Trillium bars are then used to make Living Steel. By the way, you can also craft Living Steel without a daily cooldown if you use Spirits of Harmony, but Spirits of Harmony tend to be quite pricey on most servers. Next, for some honorable mentions, we have Transmute Living Elements, which isn't that great because it shares a daily cooldown. Then we have Primal Might, which is not on a daily cooldown, but the demand is pretty low. And now for some final tips for alchemy. First, you'll want to learn Transmutation Master from your capital city. This enables you to proc additional items sometimes when you're transmuting, which amplifies your profits. Note that it doesn't work for Legion crafts. For my next tip, since some daily cooldowns are shared, you generally pick the best one of the day to do. Again, my default is Living Steel for Old World and Transmute Cloth to Herbs for Legion. Remember, the Legion transmutes are on a daily cooldown but on a separate timer from the Old World ones. For my final tip, there's actually a way to kind of print money with alchemy. The way you do this is by crafting Draenic Philosopher Stones. As long as you can get the mats, Alchemical Catalysts, and True Iron Ore for cheap. So you can literally buy a whole bunch of mats, craft a whole bunch of Philosopher Stones, then vendor them all. Actually, this could be an efficient way to spend some of your downtime if you're waiting for a queue to pop, or waiting for a group to form, or whatever. And with that, I conclude my alchemy guide. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day guys. Peace out.